Hi everyone, my name is Anastasia, welcome back to my channel, and today I'm going to be doing the Brooklyn Nine-Nine book tag. If you haven't watched my previous video where I talked all about my obsession with Brooklyn Nine-Nine lately, go do that first and then come back here. Seriously, I'll wait.
2 hours later.
Great, now you're caught up. Perfect, so I'm obsessed with Brooklyn Nine-Nine, so much so that I decided to create a whole book tag about it. But then I realized that Brooklyn Nine-Nine has been running since 2013 and someone else must have done a tag about it because I'm not that smart and fast and genius to have created a tag before someone else. So I looked it up and apparently there is a Brooklyn Nine-Nine book tag because a genius called Swizzle, who has an amazing booktube channel and you should check her out, did that back in May 2018. So thank you, Swizzle, for doing this tag because I really needed it in my life. I really needed this. So what I'm gonna do today is I'm gonna answer these questions which are based on the characters of Brooklyn Nine-Nine, but I have kind of added 4 new questions in the tag because I kind of wanted to, and give me as many chances to talk about Brooklyn Nine-Nine and I will, so why not? I'll give you a 20-minute video all about books and Brooklyn Nine-Nine. You're welcome. First character we're gonna be talking about is Jake Peralta.
Cool, no doubt.
Jake Peralta is the funniest character ever. Well, actually I'm watching 30 Rock right now and that might not be true, but he's pretty funny. He goes about his life as if he's living in an action movie. He's not very serious and he has a lot of daddy issues, and he's like the daredevil of the Brooklyn Nine-Nine group. So for Jake Peralta, the question is the character that lives to be the hero. From all the books that I have read, I can tell you that there are a lot of characters that tend to have the hero complex, but it's not because they live to be the hero, it's mostly because they have to be, usually in those chosen one tropes. However, there was one character that immediately came to mind that just always wants to be the hero, and it's Jason from the Heroes of Olympus series by Rick Riordan. Jason he just needs to be the hero of the group, and that was why I think he clashed with Percy Jackson at some point, I think the 3rd book or something, because Percy Jackson just naturally gets himself into situations where he has to kind of step in, while Jason is always like, I can do it, it's fine, I'll do it, I'll sacrifice myself. So that was it. Jason, I can't remember, Jason Grace, that's his last name. Second character is Amy Santiago.
In high school, I was voted most appropriate.
Ooh, self-burn.
And she's kind of the nerd know-it-all of the group, the intelligent girl that also is a bit of a teacher's pet, and the equivalent of Amy Santiago for this tag is a character that empowers you. Now, when someone tells me who's the character that empowers you, to me is mostly like girl characters that make me go like, yes girl, or characters that kind of make me feel like if they can do it, so can I, or they kind of motivate me. Growing up for me, that was Annabeth Chase because she was the intelligent one. She was the first girl leader that I had encountered in like books and TV shows, because usually like around 2013 it was the time where all the like the Vampire Diaries, where the girl wasn't really the hero but she was waiting for the guy to save her, so she was the first one when she was like, I can do this, because I wasn't a Harry Potter fan. But since then I found so many amazing female characters that empower me, and it's Vin from the Mistborn trilogy, Mia Corver from the Nevernight series, who is just badass, Nina and Ines from the Six of Crows duology. Those girls have been through so much and they're still so funny, hilarious, intelligent, and freaking badass, and they empower me so much. Question 3 is all about Captain Holt.
Well played, Timmy. Well played.
And it's an amazing, diverse character who breaks stereotypes. So for that, the character that kind of immediately comes to mind for me is from a book I recently read, which is The Kiss Quotient, and it's Stella, the main character. Stella is a 30-year-old woman with Asperger's syndrome, which kind of means that for her, she's very logical, she's very straightforward, she doesn't really understand how to convey her feelings, and she doesn't really understand other people's reactions and feelings, so she has problems with communication, and she's a bit too honest at times, she doesn't really get jokes and everything, she's very literal. I very rarely see women, autistic women being portrayed in the media or in books. Maybe that's just me, maybe because I'm not searching for these books, but I've seen a lot of male characters on the autism spectrum, but not women, so that was an amazing thing to say. See, what is wrong with me today? I think she broke a lot of stereotypes because she was able to have everything, an amazing job, be very happy with her job, be very successful, have money, have an amazing love interest, which you're gonna learn more about if you go and read the book, which you should, because it's hilarious and really heartwarming and really, really good. It's not often advertised that if you are in the autism spectrum or if you have a syndrome that you can have it all, which is wrong. Question 4 is all about Rosa Diaz, who is the resident badass of the Brooklyn Nine-Nine crew.
I'm not angry. I think it's funny.
And of course the question is about a badass female character you wouldn't want to mess with. Mia Corvair from the Nevernight trilogy. She is a badass character, but she's also scary. Like, I would never want to cross paths with her, and I would never dare to cross her. Next up we have Charles Boyle, the resident fangirl of Brooklyn Nine-Nine.
Hello, my big beautiful BM.
And when I say fangirl, I mean about two specific things: food and Jake and Amy. And now his actually son, Nikolaj. Can never say it right. But yeah, to my mind, he will forever be the #1 fangirl that I will forever be able to relate to. But for this question, it's the awkward but also lovable character. And for that, my mind immediately went to Nate from the Truly Devious trilogy by Maureen Johnson. Nate is the character that kind of ends up being closest to the main character, Stevie. He's a writer currently going through a writer's block. He's very, very introverted and very, very awkward. And also doesn't really love human contact. Basically, Nate is like, you know how everyone goes in for a really warm and nice hug? Nate will be the guy that will pat you on the head because he won't know what else to do if you're crying. And of course, we have Gina Linetti.
I would make the perfect American president.
Who is basically the alpha male of the entire precinct. She's also the one with the best catchphrases ever. So, for that amazing character, we have the question: a book or series on your TBR that has a huge fan base. Let me tell you something. I am so behind with so many popular book series and books. The list is huge. So we have the Golden Compass series, we have the rest of the Mistborn trilogy, the Lunar Chronicles, the Ember in the Ashes, Every Hearted Doorway, the Winner's Curse, the Lord of the Rings, which I started and never finished and I need to do that, Shadow and Bone by Leigh Bardugo, The Ninth House, which has just accumulated a huge crowd, Poppy War, anything by N.K. Jemisin, The Way of Kings, The History Is All You Left Me by Adam Silvera, Harry Potter. Never read Harry Potter. I've only read the first book. I might not read it. I'm still on the fence about it due to recent developments about J.K. Rowling. But yes, the point is, lots of books. Lots of books. Then we have Terry Jeffords.
He gave me a yogurt fridge, all right?
Who is the big guy who looks tough but has a really soft heart. That's Terry Jeffords. He is a sweetheart. And the only other guy that kind of looks like he can kill you, but is actually a mother hen and a cinnamon roll, is Jean from Lies of Locke Lamora. Jean is the mother of the group, of the Gentleman Bastards group in The Lies of Locke Lamora, and he cares so much about these men, and he literally take cares of them and runs after them. He's such a huge softie, and he even reads romantic novels. I think they're erotica novels actually, but it's just, he's a really cute softie. Next we have Scully and Hitchcock.
Scully doesn't handle pressure well.
And the question says, name an iconic duo. For me, like, that kind of reminds me like the best kind of bromance, and to me that is Will and Jem. Will and Jem will forever be my iconic duo. I recently reread the Infernal Devices trilogy by Cassandra Clare, and I've never seen so much love between two characters. They would do anything for each other. They love each other so much, they would sacrifice everything, and their love kind of like moves me. I don't even care about the romance in these books, I care about those two people, like just living their friendship and their underlying romance. Next up we have Adrian Pimento, who is actually played by a Greek actor. How cool is that? I don't know how cool is it actually, because he plays the crazy dude, and I don't know what that says about our nation.
I once punched it through a guy's throat, so I'm pretty sure I remember it.
When I saw that question, immediately my head went to Locke from The Lies of Locke Lamora. Locke is the guy that will come up with the most ridiculous and genius, but ridiculous plan. He will take crazy risks without thinking. There were moments in The Lies of Locke Lamora where I actually thought he'd gone insane. The next two questions are kind of difficult for me. So one is the Vulture.
Is this a police station or a toilet? Because all I see is turds.
Who is the guy that steals cases from the Brooklyn Nine-Nine group. There are actually some amazing scenes filmed with them trying to stop him from stealing their case. And the question is the name an antagonist that steals the show. It was really difficult for me to find one. I'm not sure if I have found, to be honest with you, because I love anti-heroes when they are the main character and you kind of get to see everything from their point of view, but when there is like a clear villain, I'm never like, oh god, they're amazing, I love them, I wish I read more from their perspective. I'm like, please die. So I guess one could be, and that's from like the general knowledge, I think it could be the dude from Shatter Me. I can't remember his name. David? Daniel? Don? John? That guy. I mean, I read the first book and I remembered that he was crazy, but I kind of liked him. Like, I kind of liked how much of an unpredictable character he was. Other than that, I could say Jonathan from the Mortal Instruments. He's crazy. Next is the Pontiac Bandit, aka Doug Judy.
Rosa, Rosa, oh yeah.
Who has a real love affair with Jake throughout the Brooklyn Nine-Nine. There are like two things that keep coming back every season. One is the Halloween heist, and the second one is Doug Judy, and I really hope he comes back for the 8th season because he's so good. The question for that is an antagonist that you can't help but love. And for that, again, I kind of had to think a little bit to figure out what I wanted to say. But here's one antagonist that I grew up loving, and that's Luke. Luke from the Percy Jackson series by Rick Riordan. I can tell you that I was not one of those people that in the end of the first book I was like, screw you, Luke. And here's my like moral sin. I kind of shipped him in the beginning with Annabeth, and I kind of like liked the whole love triangle that was going on between Percy and Luke and Annabeth, but it wasn't because it was just a crush. and I kept rooting for him to come back to the good side, but I was also kind of liking the fact that he always tried to pull Annabeth towards Kronos' side. He's the antagonist that I will forever love. Every single time I reread the Percy Jackson series, I can't help but fall in love a little bit with Luke. Okay, so I know this video is running a little bit long, but I had to add the 4 new questions that I came up with. And one is for the Halloween heist, and it's the best action sequence in a book. That for me is 2. It's either the end of the first book in the Mistborn trilogy by Brandon Sanderson. There's just like, there's so many things happening, but there's the specific one in the castle of the, oh God, I can't remember the names, I'm so bad with names, but like, anyway, there's a battle scene there and it's really cool. The other one is in the Six of Crows trilogy. Whether it's in the Six of Crows or in the Cricket Kingdom, every kind of scene that's a bit more action is amazing there. The next one is about Die Hard. Die Hard is Jake's #1 movie of all time. So for that, I decided to say, what is your favorite book this year so far? And for me personally, I can't pick, which is a bit ironic because I chose that question. I really loved The Lies of Locke Lamora. It was amazing. I love The Girl and the Nightingale. Oh, that was so good. And God, I read so many great books, but I think my top 2 books were these 2. For the next 2 questions, I'm kind of stretching it a little bit too far, but I'm still gonna do it because I kind of really want to get the chance to talk about Brooklyn Nine-Nine a little bit more. And it's first, you know the term that the entire Brooklyn Nine-Nine precinct keeps saying almost every episode, and it's 99. And for that, I picked the question, what's your favorite catchphrase from a book? That could be or like a movie, may the force be with you, for example, or may the odds be ever in your favor. But for me, and I know I'm gonna disappoint myself primarily because I'm not gonna pick something from the Mortal Instruments, it's actually No Mourners, No Funerals from the Six of Crows. It's the thing that they say every time before they go into a mission, and it's exactly the same thing that the Brooklyn Nine-Nine precinct says before like they go and do something together, or after they do something amazing, they're like, yeah, 9-9. And lastly, because I bet this video has run a little bit long, but oh well, it's the Night Shift. So if you have watched Brooklyn Nine-Nine, you know that in the 4th season, I think, the group is transferred to the night shift, and it's the worst days ever for them. And so for the night shift, I picked what's the worst book you've read so far this year. And for me, I would have picked The Nightsticks and Negligees, which was a book I was sent for review, and it was horrible. It was a thriller book, but it wasn't that, because then I read Anna and the French Kiss by Stephanie Perkins, and while I really did not like Nightsticks and Negligees, I was so disappointed by Anna and the French Kiss, a book that I loved growing up. I loved it, I had read it so many times, but going back to it, it was so problematic. I hated it and I was disappointed by it. So for me, that's the worst book that I read so far this year. And that was it. It was long, but we did it. We made it. Thank you for listening to me babble about Brooklyn Nine-Nine. If you haven't watched it, really just go watch it. It has so much heart, it's extremely funny, it has amazing friendships, it has diverse characters, it's so good. If you watch Brooklyn Nine-Nine and you don't like it, we can't be friends. So I hope you enjoyed this. I hope it kind of made you want to go and check out Brooklyn Nine-Nine or any of the books I mentioned, and I will see you in the next one. Bye!